What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pod Scum. I am, of course, your host, Reckless Rex Ruger. That, of course, is the Freddie Mercury puppet. We are back with another incredible episode. It's what we do, kids, and we ain't about to change it now. Before we get into it, I'll address the proverbial elephant in the room, as I always do. You, of course, are looking at the smoldering good looks, the luscious blonde locks. I'll confirm for you that, yes, you are looking at the one and only love child of one Diamond David Lee Roth. Now we can get down to brass tacks. My guest is here. We're going to get down to it, man. Here we go with another incredible episode. Let's do it, kids. This is where I really need that Jeopardy theme music. I really do. What would it cost to get the rights to that? Na, 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 na. Benji, do I got you? Hey, yo, how's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. I'm pretty good, man. How's everything in your neck of the woods?
Fucking cold.
Yeah, I'm in upstate New York, so I can really relate, man. Yeah, I mean, we're really in the heart of the winter up here right now.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second, all right?
Yeah.
I just got. Are we doing this thing right now, or?
Oh yeah. We're always off and
okay.
running, man. But yeah, it's very informal, man. You know, man.
Yeah, I just gotta. I gotta turn this TV off that's next to me here.
Go ahead, man. By all means, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that's.
I could sit here and complain about the winter. Is it upstate New York, or I could sit here and just complain about the winter and just keep bitching and moaning while you do your thing. And
there we go. I'm done.
Yeah. Now, whereabouts are you, man, in the continental United States?
Just outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you could certainly relate to cold and shitty weather.
Oh yeah, it was like 30 below at the wind chill here all last week.
Oof. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
Jesus,
brutal.
Man. Yeah, and so I don't know if I asked you this the first time that I had you on, man, and I got so much stuff I want to talk to you about, man, but having done so many of these, a typical backstory for many musical artists is coming from homes that were where a lot of music was being played, records, albums, maybe musically proficient parents. Was any of this the case for you?
Yeah, it was actually. My dad was a guitar player. Him and my dad and my uncle had like a Simon and Garfunkel kind of little tribute band, and my dad's whole side of the family is all artists.
Okay.
So, I mean, my grandma was a singer, like back in the big band era or whatever. Her band was actually really popular. They sold 23 nights in a row out at the Roseland Ballroom.
Wow.
In New York, like in 1943 or something like that. So yeah, music definitely runs in the family.
And so, so do you remember what age you get a guitar in your hands? How early does it start for you?
I think, well, I guess it had to be, I got my first Kiss record probably in about, well, I went to my first Kiss concert in second grade. It was the Dynasty tour.
Boy, they are everybody's gateway drug. They are everyone's gateway drug. I can't even tell you how many times in doing 360 plus episodes of this, how many times, man, Kiss has been the foray into music for people.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I saw that Kiss Alive record, the insert of it, and it just blew my mind, and then of course, just Kiss in general they were gods to me,
Yeah, sure.
And then it was funny because I'm getting a little off subject here, but I was just looking at something. I got a big autographed Ace Frehley thing here. Actually, Cameron gave it to me quite a while back, but
yeah, rest in peace. So, we just lost Ace. Yep.
Yeah, that's too bad. But anyways, so I didn't really start playing guitar until I think I got one in around 7th, 8th grade, right in that time.
Okay.
And then my uncle had an old, really shitty guitar, like a Sears guitar. And my dad was like, well, if you can play this thing for a year, I'll buy you a real guitar.
Yeah.
And I played it, and then horribly. But then I got a decent guitar, a BC Rich.
Yeah.
And then, it was still a Japanese one or whatever. But then I just went from there,
And so were there lessons involved in your journey, or would you say?
Yeah. I took a lot of lessons, for probably 5 years from this teacher of mine here, Matt Mathias, and he was just probably one of the greatest guitar players I've ever seen that no one's probably ever heard of. He's he's unbelievable. Like, he was just a great teacher. I mean, the whole town I grew up in, there was a lot of really good musicians, so everybody was trying to be the best, you know.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
there was just a lot of good guitar players in Forest Lake. That's where I grew up in Minnesota. But then, yes, some of my buddies are still playing in bands and doing that thing, and it's been a whole deal. Like it's like it seemed like half the town was all musicians and everybody was pretty good.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people realize, man, that that there is quite a great music scene in Minnesota. I mean, of course, obviously, man, the legendary Prince from Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, and then later, like after I got out of high school, when I started getting into more bands and stuff, that's when I started joining the scene in Minneapolis or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's when I first met the guys in Head Charge. Actually, I was in a different band, and I actually booked those guys for their first show to come and open up for us. The band was called Flux back then.
Okay.
And then, so we played a show with them, and I just was friends with those guys for years and years until, unfortunately, Brian passed away. And Brian actually was in my old band with me, Black Flood Diesel. We were in that band he was in for a few years with us. And then I remember because he went to Head Charge the day that they shot the Just So You Know video. That was his first day in the band.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
then we took their guitar tech, came and played with my band, Black Flood Diesel. And then we played in Minneapolis 3 days later at First Avenue, the club where Prince started.
Sure.
And that
Legendary.
whole movie's about.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you took Brian's place in the band, though, right? Unfortunately, after Brian passed away.
Yes. Yeah. Brian was pretty much, he was my best friend, or, very, very good friend of mine. And so when he passed away, the band asked me to come out, just fill in. It was only supposed to be for a couple of weeks, just to fill in for the end of the Mudvayne tour.
Yep.
And it was, we didn't really rehearse or nothing. It was kind of it was a really weird thing, to bury your best friend and then go try and play his parts. I had to learn all the music and all that within 2 or 3 days. And then we had our first show. It was in New Mexico, I believe.
Yeah. That's hard. That's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that band has seen
hard.
And that band has seen tragedy, man. I obviously Brian, we talked about, also Chad Hanks also passed away. But in light of recent events, and this just came out like a month ago, and I'm sure this has been on your radar, we obviously recently just saw on Soft White Underbelly the interview with Cameron. So I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on how that hit you. I'm sure people probably put it on your radar. You probably saw it. I saw lots of people when it was put up, tagging you. Has Benji seen this? Have other guys in the band seen this, man? First of all, before I ask you specific questions about it, what was your take on it, like when you watched it and saw it?
Well, when I first initially looked at it, I was shocked, I guess is the best way to put it. I mean, I knew where he was. I knew what he was up to, but I didn't expect it. I haven't seen him or talked to him in years.
Right.
So to just physically, he just didn't look like the Cameron I know, He just,
Sure.
I felt bad. But I also know that we've dealt with that for quite a number of years, and there's a point when it's just like, fucking come on, dude.
Yeah.
And but he's still, I consider him my brother still to this day, and I miss him a lot, but it's like, I can't get a hold of him. I can't get in touch with him, and I don't know how much he wants to even be in touch with any of us at this moment. I mean, it would be great to sit down and talk with him, because the last time I was with him, we did not end on real good terms.
Yeah. There were lots of people.
And I haven't gotten into that with anybody before, and I I would like to set the record straight a little bit on as far as
Yeah,
there's
please.
the way that he says the story happened and the way he remembers it.
Okay.
Then there's the way that I remember it, and then there's the what really happened. And I mean, it's any way you slice it, it's just it sucks.
Yeah.
But there is his interview is a lot of kind of not poor me, but kind of like we shunned him or whatever, and that
Right.
just yeah, that did happen, but it took a long time for that to happen. A lot of stuff that he didn't get into about what he had done. And I'm not going to drag all of our laundry out in the public like this, but I mean,
Sure,
it was,
sure.
there was a, you know, for instance, one time I went back because we were all living together. Me and him and Karma were living together in LA. And I came back. I was in Minnesota for like a week. I came back and all my guitars were gone.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, you know.
Yep.
And you guy can only take so much of that before it's just like, you know what, dude, fuck you.
Right. Right.
I mean, I'm always there. I would be there to help him, and he knows that. We've all helped each other out a billion times. That's why I came back in the band, because things weren't going real great for me. And they saw that and they were like, it's time to get him out of where he is. And that's what they did. And then that's when I rejoined back for the last tour or whatever.
Yep.
But I mean, it's the story I didn't like the way that it's sad because I thought that it kind of came across as we abandoned him in a way, and that just was not the truth.
Right. Right.
I mean, but he might remember that or feel that way about it. I don't know. When you're in that state of mind, I don't know how good he's remembering the way things really went, or he might just have been so pissed about not being able to live at the house anymore. But it was his own doing as to why we couldn't have him there anymore.
Right. 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 And addicts are often very much in denial too. You know, I mean, it's probably hard for him to say, "Hey, geez, I did all these things, and then the guys got to this point." You know.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, it was never just a one day thing. He showed back up at home and was told to leave.
Right, a culmination of things.
Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of people in the comment section of that interview, though, you know, who were saying or speculating or questioning how this situation could be rectified. You know, how could he be helped? How could this some of these problems be solved? But you made a great point right there. How much does he actually want to be helped and have this stuff like fixed, though? Because there were lots of people in the comment section playing devil's advocate saying, why is nobody going to him physically? Why is nobody going to try to find him? Now, why is nobody going? And not just anybody in the band, just his friends, anybody specifically.
Well, don't get me wrong. We did just do that. Like, Karma went and found him a few months ago.
Okay.
And they got him to go into a rehab or whatever, and then he left. So, I mean, it's not like...
So people don't know the whole story then. Yeah.
No, they don't know the whole story. So, I mean... It's just something that we never really talked about, but now that it came across this way, that's why I'm doing this podcast with you, because I thought we might as well get a little bit more of the truth out there, just so people don't look. And I mean, the last thing I like to do is talk about our band stuff in public, but he kind of brought it up a little bit. I mean, and I wish I could just talk to him about it. Just me and him sit down and talk about it. That's what I really wish. But
you know, do you feel like when he does an interview like this, you know, what was the sense that you got for his motivation for doing the interview? I don't know how Mark Lyda, the host of Softboy Underbelly, I don't know how he treats his guests. I don't know, you know, if he pays them, if there's any kind of a payoff or any kind of benefit for doing his show. But did you get the sense that Cameron was doing this for any specific reason? Was it a cry for help? Was it what was the sense that you got, like why he would be in front of the camera in the state that he's in doing this interview?
I have no idea, because Cameron's not one to just care about interviews or
Right.
like fame type of star shit. That's not him. He is
Right.
the furthest
Especially when
all
you're
that.
especially when you're down and out and you're not the guy that people remember,
Yeah, I don't know what his motivation was for it, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if the guy paid him a bunch of money to do it,
Right.
or the guy got him a bunch of dope, or if maybe Cameron just wanted to do it. Maybe he is looking for help. I don't know, but it didn't seem, I didn't necessarily get that when he said, "I thank God for fentanyl every day."
Right.
That's not really saying that, and apparently he likes living in the park.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it sucks because there could be such a better thing going on for all of us, but I mean, it's just really hard to watch. I mean, it's like, he was one of my best friends,
Yeah. Yeah.
to see him look like that, and then having everybody come up to me or calling me or text me, whatever, trying to get a hold of me, and they all want to know exactly like what's my thoughts or what's going on. And
Right.
I don't have all the answers. I know a lot of things, that's what's up, but literally I haven't spoken with him in probably 4 years. I bet 3 years. It's been a long time.
Has the band ever thought, and now Cameron is a very unique talent with an incredible voice. We've obviously seen that on the albums that American Head Charge does have out there. I think people will instantly revert to The War of Art, an incredible album. Not that the rest weren't, man, but I think that album really sticks out as a creative high point for American Head Charge. He's such a unique talent. It's such an amazing voice. Did American Head Charge ever think about going on with a different vocalist? Was this ever even a thought?
Not even a thought, I don't believe.
Okay.
Not in my eyes. I know that there was some looking around back before I rejoined the band.
Mm-hmm.
The second time, they couldn't get a hold of Cameron, and he literally was just like surfing. He wasn't playing music. And I mean, at that point, I think he was in a good space in his life too. They just weren't playing, and the rest of the guys, I guess, I can't speak for them, but from what I know is that they were starting to shop around a little bit, kind of looking for a guy. And then Cameron came around and was like, and he is the voice of the band,
No doubt.
And in my eyes, to this day, he's still my favorite singer. I mean, out of all the bands I listen to and everything, I mean, he's great. He's one of the most talented musicians I've ever seen in my life. And that's another thing that kind of pisses me off when I watch that video, because I love the fact that he says he's still got more music in him, because I know he does.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that he would just start. I don't care who he's playing with. I mean, just to get him on that track again, because when he is sober or soberer and has his wits about him, he's one of the greatest guys around. I mean, he'd give the shirt off his back to anybody. He's super solid dude. But that drug that he's doing it changes people.
Yeah. Do you remember the specific point in time in the history of the band where the turning point was, where it really went south, and in terms of Cameron? I mean, like, what was there a specific incident that was really kind of like the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back?
Well, I think there's been a bunch of them. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that drug just like takes everything from that person.
Yeah.
So like, when that person steals from you, it's not really I never even necessarily looked at it as like Cameron stealing from me. It was like that drug was stealing from me
Right.
because it had stole my friend, you know.
Watched. Great point. Yeah.
And, I
Yeah.
mean, and I'm not an angel by any means, you know. I've had my ups and downs, so I get it. And but that drug in particular is just, it's a pretty nasty one. It's it changed him, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, he's definitely not even close to the same person that I know right now. That's what I got when I talked to Karma about it. I just said, you know, where's the Cameron that we know?
Yeah, and you guys had to
I wish
watch
he would.
and you guys had to watch this decline, right? Do you remember? You know, you know, was it kind of rapid, or was it a slow decline for him? You guys were obviously watching this. It didn't obviously, as
Well,
you said, happen overnight.
it's been up and down for years, and that goes for a lot of the guys in the band. I mean, it's not like it was. We've all had our issues, but it's just been up and down. I mean, there was points when it would be really low, and then people get sober, and then good things get done, and then it's almost like every time something gets going, everybody's in the great spirits or whatever, and then that's like the reason to party or something. I don't know, and then it
Right.
just starts
Right.
to it. Then it goes downhill from there, and then. But the band's always been able to keep it rolling. But I think losing Chad really, really hurt Cam more than I'll ever know. And because those two were very, very tight.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like,
I saw a past interview, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, but where Cameron was taking a lot of responsibility and putting a lot of the passing of Brian on himself. Is that a fair assessment? Is Cameron being hard on himself?
you know, that's the first time that I've ever heard him talk about that in public at all. Like,
Yeah.
I knew what happened. And I knew that he felt that way about it. I was pretty surprised that he was so honest about how
Yeah.
he felt about that. And I was surprised with a few of the things that he's talked about. Cameron's not the most, you know, he's not going to just talk. He doesn't mince words usually. He's not going to just have small talk.
Right. Right.
That's not really his style, you know.
Right.
If he says something, he pretty much means it. But I mean, it's like I've never seen an interview with him like that before, where he was so candid, I guess, about what happened and how he felt about the whole Brian thing.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was eating him up, but he didn't really talk about it that much. It wasn't something that we would bring up. And I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff, but then again, we could sit in the same room for 2 days with each other and not say a word, exactly where we were.
Right. And now, I think people would probably love to know where you are in terms of your own musical journey, man. Do you have any musical projects brewing? Are you interested in even continuing to do music? Has the American Head Charge experience kind of jaded you on being in a band? Where do you stand right now on being part of the music industry, and are you doing anything currently?
No, I'm not. My old band, Black Flood Diesel, I went and played. They had their last show. They were together for like 25 years. I actually went out and played a couple songs with them.
Okay.
That was a few months ago, but that was the first time I've been on stage in a long, long time. That was fun. I've had some things. We jammed with me and Karma played with some of the guys from OTAP over at Karma's house. We were going to get something going, and I just really haven't been playing that much. I've got some other friends in Vegas that we were talking about doing some stuff with, but I've just been painting a lot. That's been my main thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to do music though? Is there a desire to do it?
Yeah, there would be with Cameron and those guys again for sure.
Yeah.
Or those guys are like, we just know what we're doing when we're playing together. It seems like
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine trying to go through the whole rigmarole of getting your band going again and starting all that up from scratch. And I mean, I guess if I got offered the right project, yeah, I would definitely do it. If it was music that I really, really loved, I wouldn't, I couldn't just play for the sake of playing. I don't think it would have to be with something that I really, really liked.
Right. Right. Now, not to make you play armchair psychologist or whatever, man. I mean, but obviously there's a lot of pressures, there's a lot of temptations that go along with being a musician. And obviously Cameron, we've talked about it, has seen and dealt with a lot in losing friends like Chad and Brian. Do you think it's one thing, or is it kind of an amalgamation of things that might have sent him on this downward spiral? Obviously, there's touring, there's the pressures of being a front man, there's the, having to sit down and create music and have deadlines. Do you think it was any one thing specifically that you could point to that say, here's might have been, the impetus for pushing Cameron in this direction?
Like,
how did he handle things like that?
Pretty well. I mean, he had a pretty strong backbone as far as like that goes, the touring, all that stuff. I don't really, I think that, and this is me just playing armchair psychologist, like you said.
Yep.
I think that the whole, like when they first came out with the War of Art, I remember when they came to Minneapolis on the Pledge of Allegiance tour, and this was their first big thing, and their record was coming out. And they were playing the Xcel Energy Center here, which is it's an arena where the hockey team plays. There was probably 25,000 people there, whatever.
Okay.
And that was a super exciting time for those guys, because I remember Cameron stayed at my house that night, and I had to wake up and go to work.
Yeah.
He had to go do sound check at the big arena, and I was just like, God damn it. But things were really going well for him, and then 9/11 hit.
Yeah.
And they were on the Pledge of Allegiance tour, and they were basically calling America out for the bullshit that we were doing to, I mean, but it really changed the idea of everybody's thoughts about America changed when everyone was lied to about the whole 9/11 BS just for them to go over there and have whatever they needed to do.
Right.
But that I think was the first setback, I think, because it killed the record industry quite a bit. I mean, as far as like with everybody's record sales, I think went down tremendously after that.
Sure.
So, but then, they got off the label, and Rick Rubin was nice enough to just let him go or whatever. And then they came out with The Feeding. And I think they were real excited about that. And then Brian passed away. So that was definitely a big hit for everybody in the band. I mean, it was kind of that's like, for me, when I came in at that point, it was real odd, because it was like nobody really wanted to be there, but they had to be, but they knew Brian would want to be. And I mean, it was just weird. So then I was only supposed to fill in for a couple of weeks or whatever. Well, then that changed because we had to go to Europe with Mudvayne right away. And so they just asked me if I could keep going with them. I said, yeah. And then, so everything was going good then. And things were on the up and up. And then we finished that whole cycle. And then we started writing another record or whatever. And that's when things really started to fall apart the first time. And that's when I didn't go back with the band. So I think they went through a few guitar players then. And then they were working on Tango. And then things were pretty still kind of roughish there. I know that. And then the record came out, and I thought it was a great record.
Unbelievable record.
I just don't think what's that?
But when you say things were falling apart, what exactly do you mean? Just just the morale of the band after losing Brian it had taken it out of everybody.
It did for a little while, for sure. And then we got back on track, and I thought we were going pretty good. We were going really good. Everything seemed great. And then after that cycle of touring for the feeding, when we came home, that's when things started to get really dark, a lot darker. Chad went into rehab. I, it was, it just, yeah, things, the wheels started to fall off. But then Chad got out of rehab and the band kind of pulled itself back together again, and thought things could maybe get going, and then it just all fell apart again. And that's when I dropped off and I wasn't in the band for years. And then, so I don't know exactly how things were going when I wasn't in the band, but I know it wasn't super great because I was still good friends with most of the guys. And I just knew that they didn't have a good record deal. They just didn't know really what they were going to do.
Yeah.
And then they made that EP, and then they got picked up by whatever, I can't even remember the label that it's on for the last record. It's Nuclear. I can't. I don't even know the label that the record was on. The last Tango's on. I forgot the name of them. But anyways, so they got picked up by them, and then they did the GoFundMe thing and all that, and they got enough money. They made their record. But the whole process of them making the record seemed a little bit strained, but it worked. I thought it came out great. So then that's when I came back in, and we went on tour. We went over to Europe. I just did the Europe tour or whatever. And then things were going really good, actually. And we had a bunch of songs that we had written. They're still there. I mean, there's probably 15 of them at least.
What was that process? What was that process like, writing music, man? Who was taking the reins as far as the creative process? Was Cameron and the other guys? I mean, was it equal? Was it very collaborative? Did Cameron still seem invested in the creative process at that time?
Yeah, for sure. Him and Karma kind of were at our house in LA. Everybody kind of had a little recording studio in their rooms or whatever.
Okay.
And Karma and Cameron had been working on some stuff before I got down there. And I know they had a bunch of ideas going, and then everyone was in a pretty good spirits. I thought we were going to, because I had moved down there so we could start writing the next record. Right. That was the plan. And I don't know, there was at least 20 some songs. I mean, those guys were talking like, shit, we could have a double record. We have so much stuff here.
Right.
And so then we were just it was like a little songwriting factory kind of. It was cool. And then everything just kind of fell apart out of nowhere. That's when the fentanyl started coming around.
Okay, I was going to ask you that. Because I think we all know that musicians on the road, all the trappings of rock star life, we always know that booze, some weed, some coke, some this, some that is always probably going to be prevalent, man. But that's what I was going to ask. When did fentanyl first appear on the radar, which is an insidious drug right now?
I mean,
really doing major damage.
He was doing a lot of heroin. I mean, when I moved to LA, he was sober. He'd just gotten out of rehab.
Okay.
And he talks about that in his interview or whatever. Yep. So then I moved into the house. So when he got out of rehab, the house was good, I mean, it's not like there wasn't drugs around, but there was nobody shooting up heroin or nothing like that right. I knew of. I mean, I know there wasn't. So, but that's when I started noticing little tinfoil balls around the house, and I was like, I didn't know what it was.
Right.
And well, it didn't take me too long to figure it out what it was. But all I knew is Cameron wasn't using needles, and that was good. And I know that he talks about that in his interview.
Yep.
That he was such a problem with that. But the fentanyl is, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know if it's any better or what.
It's doing a lot of damage in this country. That's for sure. It's doing a lot of damage. And so
yeah, yeah.
and so all these songs that you guys create, you know, you talked about possibly there being enough there even for a double album, man. Where are all these songs currently? Who is in possession of them? Where are they? They're obviously, you know, they exist.
Karma's got them on his
Okay.
computer,
Okay.
I believe. Yeah. I mean, they're on different hard drives here and there. And to be honest with you, I haven't even heard all of the stuff because I kind of came down there in the middle of it and just started. We just were just all kind of just putting ideas together and just throwing them down. And then Cameron would put vocals over stuff whenever he felt like it. That was one thing that with Cameron, he never would sing outside of, like, barely at practice. He would sing a little bit, you know, just to keep the song on track. But he never, ever would be like, he wasn't the type of dude to be in the car and singing along to songs unless we were goofing around or something, you know?
Right.
And I think he talked about that in that interview that he did about how personal singing is and whatnot. And but that is, I know that's true because I never would see him not even really tracking vocals, nothing like that. He would always kind of go by himself and do that stuff.
And so do you know to what degree these songs are in terms of like completion? Are there a number of them that are in different stages? Are there a number of them that are
they're all over the map. I mean, it's like it's kind of like building a house. I think when you make a record, when you're doing art like that, nothing comes like perfectly packaged. You never know when an idea is going to come. So Cameron might have had an idea for one song over here, and Carmen might have had one over here, and then I might have a part here, and then they'd mesh together, and that might be a thing. But then those three things could go into something else. You just never know how it's going to flow. So there's just a bunch of ideas, but some of them are a lot further than others.
Okay. So there could be some fully realized songs on there, though, completely done, polished, or is that not?
I don't know about. There's some that are close. I know that for sure.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of them. I think Cameron was just. A lot of the music is close to done, and then there's a lot of scratch vocals on stuff, just like ideas.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And to be honest with you, it's been so long since I've heard any of that stuff. I can't remember exactly how far along. I know that there was a lot of songs, a lot of ideas for sure.
Has all the stuff that you guys have been through as a band, you know what I mean? The death of band members, seeing the deterioration of Cameron. I know I asked you about your own musical journey and your willingness to want to play again. With everything that you've been through and now you look back on the whole American Head Charge experience, some good, certainly lots of bad, has it jaded you on the whole experience, man? Like, would you want to go through it again and be in a band?
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's everything I wanted. I feel lucky, super lucky and grateful for being able to do what we did.
Yeah.
I mean, every day I think about it, and I also think about how fun it would be to get to go do it again.
Right.
But I'm just thankful that I got to do it. And that's the thing when I think about Cameron, is as much as me and him were fighting right at the end, I wouldn't have been able to do any of it if it wasn't for him,
Right.
Him and Chad. I mean, it was their baby. And even though the way that I got into it, if I could take all of it back, I would. If I could have Brian be here today, I would give it back in a second.
Yeah.
But I do know that me and Brian were very, very close. And if anybody would have taken his spot, I'm pretty sure he would have asked that it be me. His mom even told his family. I mean, I'm very good friends with them. So, but that's the one thing that, yeah, I would give it all back if Brian could still be here in a second. But obviously that's not possible. So, yeah, no, it was a great thing. I mean, it was one of my favorite bands before I got to even join with them. I loved the music. I just liked that. They were something that I hadn't really heard before.
Yeah, yeah, and I think they were, exciting band. And I think I realized that even more when I scrolled through the comment section of the Cameron interview, and currently it's only been out a month and 140,000 plus views already, man. So people have really turned out, and that number continues to grow. So people are obviously curious to hear from Cameron. Lots of love in the comment section about what a great band American Head Charge was, how much people would love to see them back, how much people are rooting for Cameron. But as you said, you can't help somebody that doesn't want help. There were a lot of people in that comment section who were saying, why isn't anybody going to LA? Why isn't anybody going to find this guy? You know what I mean? So, in order to defend you guys and all the other people out there who are Cameron's friends, you can't just go grab a guy that doesn't want to go in that direction, though. So, I certainly want to clear that up because there were lots of people in the comments saying, why isn't somebody just go and get him? Why don't his friends?
Well, they did. I mean, Karma and a couple of our friends did go do that not that long ago. And yeah, like you said, you can't. But sometimes I just want to grab them and just by the throat and just force them to go somewhere and just straighten them out. But and don't get me wrong, I've done that to them before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gotten that way between us, but it was done. I did that because I love the guy, and I just hate fucking seeing. I hate seeing anybody look like that, but especially my closest friends.
Right.
Just because I know how much more he has to give still. I mean, it fucking sucks is what it does.
Yeah. I think that was the sad part of the interview, man, is that he did touch on the fact, and I think you mentioned it a few minutes ago in our conversation, he does still feel like he has more to offer as an artist.
Oh, I guarantee you that he does. I mean, he's got so many songs and ideas for like these side things he wanted to do. We used to play around with that stuff a lot. And he'll be able to, he's talented enough to do whatever he wants to do. I know that. It's just, will he get a chance to do it? I guess that depends on if he stays alive, I mean, he looks half dead right now. He does not. It just was.
He did not
just
look
seeing
good.
him all frail and hunched over like that, and I noticed he was missing a finger. I don't know how that happened.
I think it shocked a lot of people, his appearance. And let's also not forget the fact too that even if you were to go there and as you said, grab this guy, shake him, put him in a rehab, that's not necessarily a cure-all either. Plenty of people come out of rehab and go right back to what they were doing too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've done that. I mean, a lot of us have.
Many people have.
I mean, if he's not ready to do it, it's not going to happen. I mean, but it would be nice if he would just try it and just give himself 30 days of just clarity, just something to clean his brain up, because then maybe he might make a different decision. As opposed to going back to live in the park. He can always go do that. You know? But there's also a much better place to go than there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so I know that he knows that.
And so what do you currently have going on? Before I let you out of here, do you have anything to promote? I know you do artwork. Do you sell the artwork? Is there places where people can go and check your stuff out?
Yeah, I guess on my Facebook.
Okay.
Which is just Benji, or I think it's Benji Helberg or whatever. But
okay.
Yeah, I got stuff on there. I don't they've wanted to do a few art shows. People have offered them to me. I just haven't totally committed to it yet, but I'm supposed to be doing the first one here coming up pretty soon, so that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, very, 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 very. All right, so the stuff is up for sale. Can you also be commissioned to do pieces?
Nope, I don't think so. It's got to be like my artwork is rather odd. Like,
yes,
there's one here of the fake moon landing. I don't know if you can see that.
I love it though. I love it. I've gone through your Instagram. Yeah, I love your style.
This one I haven't put up yet. This is a giant painting I'm working on here.
I can tell. Huge. Yeah. That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah. Oh, you got frozen there for a minute. Did we lose our connection there? You still there? Benji's frozen, I think. Unless we lost our internet connection. I don't know. But Benji, you there? If you are frozen, you can jump off and jump back in again. But see, the minute Benji showed us his artwork, we frozen. He's in Minnesota, folks. He may have literally frozen. So I'm going to tell him right now. I texted him and told him to pop out of the room and pop back in so we can give him a proper send off and a proper goodbye and, really wrap this thing up and tie it up and tie it together nicely, which he did do. So he popped out and popped back in. Hey, there's no crying in podcasting, kids. We all know this. And if you've been along for the ride with Pod Scum and or Off the Couch Boxing, we've had our share of technical issues before. So, Benji will pop back in though, man, and we'll give him a proper send off here and put some closure on this, man. And I do want to say, while we're waiting for him to come back in here, man, fentanyl, an insidious drug, addiction, an insidious disease. It affects so many people. If you know someone out there who needs help, there are lots of places where you can get people help. I think people all are aware of that. And we'll get Benji back in here in a second. I will, of course, drone on and on and on and try to kill some time here, man. But we want to get him back in here and give him a proper goodbye. And for people that may not have seen the video in question that we have talked about, it is with American Head Charge lead singer Cameron Heacock. He just did a piece, maybe a little under an hour, 45 minute, 50 minutes, somewhere in that vicinity, discussion with the podcast Soft White Underbelly. And it's pretty telling. It's pretty candid. At the end of the day, very sad. As Benji stated, it is a Cameron Heacock that looks like a shell of his former self. Very hunched over, very frail, obviously very ravaged by his addictions. And is not a pretty sight, man. And it's really sad to see, man. It's one of those instances, and we've heard the story so many times where you get people that are just extremely talented, and this disease just gets a hold of them. I've seen it in my own personal life. We've seen it, of course, with celebrities, movie stars, musicians. It's taken some of my favorite artists and completely out of the world. Cameron is still alive, and I'm not sure again what his motivation was for doing the interview. But I don't know whether he was paid, if there was some kind of a compensation for him, but apparently at this time, he is living on the streets of LA. He's homeless and suffering from fentanyl addiction. And it's really, really horrible to see. An extremely talented frontman, an amazing vocalist. If people aren't familiar with American Head Charge, just a great, great band. Most people point at their most seminal album, the one that I think probably really defines them the most, not to impugn any of the rest of them. They're all fantastic, man. But The War of Art, which came out in 2001, is probably the album that most people probably point to, the most and say, hey, that's their album right there, man. That's the one that people really seem to know the most. And again, I'm just spitballing here and killing time, trying to get Benji to come back on here. And just to kind of properly wrap up the interview and say goodbye to him. But I certainly wanted to get him on here. I wanted to get his views on, this Cameron Heacock piece. It just came out about a month ago. People can find it on YouTube. You can, make your own decisions on what you see, how it makes you feel. Lots of people have comments. Lots of people have questions. Lots of people are, as I alluded to earlier and used the phrase, playing armchair psychologist. There's lots of people who, think they know how this could be solved, or think they know what the fellas in the band should do, or his close friends. But as Benji said, some of this is easier said than done. For people that aren't really familiar with the disease of addiction, and it's probably affected a lot of people in one way, shape, or form. So many people out there have been directly or indirectly affected by it, but you can't just go and just, hey, we're going to fly to LA and we're just going to grab Cam and throw him in rehab. And then, hey, we're getting the band back together. It's not just that simple of a procedure. It just doesn't go down that way. It's just one of those things. It's not an instant fix where you can just snap your fingers and just solve this guy's problems. So and Cameron will be back. I'm sorry for the delay, folks. I didn't want to just, and there's Benji right there, man. Yeah. I didn't want to completely tie up the interview, man, and not properly say goodbye. We were just wrapping it up and you showed me the painting and then everything froze. And I was literally saying, he's in Minnesota. He may have literally froze.
Yeah, no shit.
But yeah, I kept the podcast obviously going, man, like in your absence, and just kind of trying to catch people up to speed on, like, if they weren't aware of what we were talking about, that they can go on YouTube if they want to make their own determinations. If they want to watch the video, it's certainly up there through the soft white underbelly. And from what I understand, man, he's a guy that does a lot of stuff like that, where people that have kind of hit the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, and are living, kind of a dark existence. I think he kind of sheds light on a lot of situations like that, because it never seems like
guy.
Yeah, it never seems like the stories are very happy.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them. I mean, I had heard of the thing before, so when I saw that he was on that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's kind of a whole lot of
quite a few people.
It's kind of a whole lot of misery, it seems like, or people in a miserable situation. You know what I mean? Which, obviously Cameron at this stage of his life, he kind of fits in that criteria right now. He's not in a good place, so it makes sense that he would he would try to reach out to him. And again, we talked about it. I don't know, like, what his motivation was, if there was some type of compensation there or something, because as you said, Cameron's not one of those guys who's just going to come and just start, freely talking.
Yeah, I mean, normally he never has been, and obviously he's basically been off the map for, what did he say, 4 or 5 years now?
Right.
So
yeah,
it is odd. I'm sure that I was one of the first people to get a link to it or whatever. I mean, I probably had 100 people right away were like, "Did you see this?" And I was like, "No, I didn't even know about it." And then I watched it, obviously, just like everybody else, and it was a surprise, to say the least.
Yeah, it really is one of those things where you hear the term all the time, a cautionary tale, man. But when you watch it, man, like, you do see, just how insidious the disease of addiction is, and that it can really get its hooks into anybody, even somebody, who's prolifically creative as Cameron is, and who would seemingly have everything in the world going for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the first or the last
rock
star to have that happen. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean,
yeah.
Look at, like, Prince and Michael Jackson basically died from the same shit, opiates or whatever. I mean, same category.
Yep.
And I mean,
but you hit the nail on the head. But you did hit the nail on the head, though, man. We've lost a lot of musicians. Thankfully, at this point in time, we haven't lost Cameron, and we hope that we don't, man. And we hope that he can be reached.
That's what I hope. And I mean, how he was talking about Brian, and I wish that he could take Brian's passing and dig deeper, or, try and get himself out of wherever he is.
Yeah.
And, but it's just, I don't even know what to say. I would just like to talk to him, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
sure I'll get the chance to eventually here, but I mean, I hope I do before anything real bad happens.
yeah. Hopefully it comes full circle, man. But listen, man, I appreciate you doing this, man. I really wanted just to wait for you to come back on so we could kind of wrap everything up and properly say goodbye. But I really do appreciate it, man. It's always a pleasure getting the chance to talk with you, man. And I appreciate you coming on here and just sharing your feelings, your reactions on the whole thing, man. And it is sad because I know at the end of the day, he's a bandmate, and more importantly, he's a brother and a friend. So, man, hopefully, there's some resolution in the future, man. And hopefully we can save this guy, man.
Yeah, I hope that things get resolved for the good. It would be a great story. So if it has a good ending,
Boy, would it? Yeah, it really would be. Yeah, a triumphant return, man. I mean, it would blow people away, man. And the thing is, man, the encouraging thing that I took away from it is hearing that Cameron is not completely thrown in the towel, that he does still have the spirit inside of him, at least, to want to create and to make music. He hasn't lost that fire yet. That hasn't gone out.
Yeah, that was the best thing I heard him say.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I hope he does, whether it's I'm involved or who's ever involved. I just would love to even hear what he wants to make, because whatever he's going to do is going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah,
I just hope we get that chance to hear it or make it, whatever way it rolls down. Yeah, I mean, it's just it sucks, but who knows? It could be the greatest comeback story ever.
It would be. Yeah, without a doubt. Benji, thanks again, man. I really appreciate it, man. Stay warm out there in Minnesota, man, and I hope you and your family have a nice holiday, man.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure, man. We'll definitely stay in touch. We'll do it again, my friend.
For sure. Hopefully it's on a triumphant return maybe next time.
I hope so. I hope that's what we're talking about the next time, man. Really, I do.
That would be badass.
Yeah, it would be badass. Right. Absolutely, man. Good talking to you, Benji.
Yep, you too. Take care.
Later, brother. Glad we got the chance to get him back in here and properly say goodbye. You guys had to listen to me drone on. Hopefully that wasn't too painful. I had to kill, I don't know how long it was, man. A few minutes there, man. But thanks to Benji Helberg, guitarist for American Head Charge. Hopefully, as he said, his former bandmate, lead singer, brother, friend, Cameron Heacock, who is currently battling addiction and all the ravages to his body and soul that come with it. You could obviously see that in the Soft White Underbelly interview, which is up on YouTube right now. It has really done a number. Again, man, there is help out there for people that are suffering from addiction, though. And if you know somebody or you're suffering from it, seek help, please. Fentanyl is just a catastrophic problem right now of epic proportions in this country, man, that is really doing a number on people, man. And right now it has its hooks in one Cameron Heacock, frontman for American Head Charge. And, people, don't be brutal in the comment sections when you go watch the interview and gang up on the guys in the band and his friends, because as Benji said, people have tried to help, people have tried to reach out. At the end of the day, the person has to want help and want to see that help all the way through to the other side. And, so far it just hasn't gone that way for Cameron, but keep him in your thoughts and your prayers, man. And as Benji said, it would be the most triumphant and epic of comeback stories ever. If we can see Cameron Heacock on a stage again, man, in any way, shape, or form, whether it's with American Head Charge, as Benji said, or just in any way, shape, or form, seeing him back doing what he loves. The silver lining in that interview was that he did say that he doesn't feel like he's done with music and that he still has a desire. So, that flame hasn't flickered and burned out yet, man. So, hoping and praying, man, for a positive outcome here. And as I said, you can check out that interview. It is on Soft White Underbelly. If you just go in and just Google it on YouTube. I don't know if the guy has a page or a website or whatever. I've seen other interviews that he's done, so I imagine that they probably do. It's just simply titled Cam. But it's pretty telling what the drugs have done to him. And if you're a fan of the band, might be hard to watch, might be hard to stomach, man. But it is also one of those reminders, man, that nobody's, addiction can get its hooks into even people that seemingly have everything going for them and are at the top of the world, sometimes those are the people that it strikes down the hardest. So, you know, you can't always buy your way out of it with fame and money and all that stuff. So, you know, hopefully this has a happy outcome. And I thank Benji for coming on here, man, and getting his reactions to it. You know, I feel for him because, again, as I said, that's a brother, a friend, a bandmate. It's sad. The current state is sad. Let's hope that the whole thing can get turned around. Thank you to Benji Helberg. I appreciate it. Again, tap in with us on Facebook, Off the Couch Boxing and PodScum. Tap in with us on Instagram, same handle, Off the Couch Boxing and PodScum. And of course, tap in with us here, like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell until we get together and we do this thing again. This is your boy Reckless Rex reminding you to take it easy and keep it sleazy.